It's Casey Schofield, John Nation, in their own words telling their stories.
This rivalry between me and Johnny, it almost destroyed our friendship. That's how fierce this competition was.
It was WOW versus EOW.
The competition was fierce. The rivalries were real.
Sometimes that's not always a good thing.
That is how brutal this competition was. I wanted to win. I wanted to beat him. I wanted to win because I believed I was the best.
Me, John Nation, the human being, just gloated because the big bad bully had been fucking bitch beat. It was great.
Was it WOW or EOW? Now, ladies and gentlemen, Casey Schofield and John Nation present the A Little Bit of Everything podcast.
Well, hey there, my friends. It is Casey on the A Little Bit of Everything podcast. Got a very special guest here today and a new thing we're going to be trying here, man. I got my old buddy Danny, old John Nation. He's going to be joining us in this episode of the podcast, and we are going to be talking about audio wrestling, going down memory lane, you know, reminiscing on things over the years, watching clips and matches and highlights and just, you know, talking, shooting a breeze, doing what we do, buddy. So, you know, this is going to be fun. So grab you some coffee, grab a cold beer, and let's get started, baby. Let's do the damn thing. When you talk about the WOW-EOW rivalry over the years, you know, you talk about we started this as young adults, teenagers, basically, you know, talking about the rivalry. And then all these years later, we collaborate so well and have built this huge thing that you and Clinton started called Evil Blood.
Yeah, oh yeah. And Evil Blood was just a one-time experiment that became a true phenomenon.
Man.
But it became a phenomenon because you and me got involved. You and me took it over. I honestly believe, and this is no offense to Clinton, I'm just going to speak the truth right now. If me and Clinton had still had it, it would have been exactly the same.
Do you think?
I do, and I'll tell you why. Clinton was never very good at updating superstars, and I'm not either. I'm good at updating concepts, which is something. Let's be realistic here. Clinton doesn't always do that very well. Every now and then again, he comes up with a good one. But the problem with what we were doing in 2006, let's say, it was outdated compared to like what was coming on the scene.
Right, because it kind of seemed like, you know, you had that glory period from 2001 to 2005.
Right.
Where it was, you know, Clawman, the Droid, and Flair, and Lizard, you know,
right, exactly. But see, here's the problem. I couldn't update, and Clinton just plain didn't want to. That's the truth.
Well,
he had a box load of superstars, and you know that because you have them, that he could have pushed. Never happened.
When you and him first started, you know, seeing, you know, this new thing, you know, this WOW thing, you know, coming on the scene, did he even acknowledge it, or was he just like business as usual type thing?
It was business as usual. A lot of it was because actually Clinton was ready to go out in 2006. See, when you were coming in, and then this is actually really sad in my book. Clinton was ready to go out. You have no idea to this day how much I wish you, me, and Clinton could have got together and done shows back in 2002 and 2003.
Oh, dude.
We would have, even back then, I believe we would have kicked ass.
Dude, back then, Brad and I were putting out our best content. Do you know how badass it would have been if it had been me and Brad on one side in our beginning days and you and Clinton on the other side? Dude, those early Cyborg, Flair, Clawman, George, that was some of the best shit coming out of the sport.
Oh God, yeah, dude. I mean, to me, maybe you agree with this, maybe you don't. To me, EOW and Fury invented pay-per-view for the sport.
Can't deny that.
We invented the idea of the big concept.
Can't deny that. Can't deny that. But, you know, the interesting thing about the Evil Blood event is that Evil Blood wasn't built on being a big deal. We never acknowledged and said, this is the biggest event.
No. One thing that Evil Blood was built on, even at first, was cutting edge ideas.
Well, yeah, because Evil Blood was the first of its kind.
Also, people don't know this. It's kind of a lost thought, but Evil Blood was the first idea of experimenting with musics. See if we could do it. It was the first idea where we incorporated some themes.
Exactly, because
Clawman's theme at the time was the old Kane theme.
Yeah.
And he would come out to that. Evil Blood was the first one where we said, you know what, let's try this and see if it works. Obviously, it has some bumps in the road. I ain't gonna lie. But what new system doesn't? Tell me that. You know, what new system doesn't?
Exactly. I mean, I wouldn't say you were the first ones to try music. You were the first ones to tape it. You were the first ones to get it on record because me and Brad did that. Me and Brad tried
did you?
too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So,
like, I remember in I want to say it was 2001. Back in 2001, Brad and I would sit, and we had some Nintendo games with wrestling themes on them. And yeah, dude. And what we would do is we would sit with a tape recorder and we would record the music, and we would use it in the entrances. Now, why the hell we didn't ever think to record our matches on tapes when I had big stacks of them sitting around? Dude, that still that still irks me to this day.
I know. Hey, dude, I'm with you. I would have loved. All right, I would have loved to have seen what you and Brad could have put together.
Dude, if we had Chris and Dan's worst fights and we had all that, why couldn't we have recorded wrestling too?
You guys could have, but y'all didn't.
We had the tapes. We had the tapes. We had the means to do it, and we didn't.
Well, I think neither one of you were the mindset to record. I think it was the mindset of let's do the shows. See, and Clint was there too, but me on the other hand, I'm a recording junkie. I live to record, and in some ways, that's actually been quite a blessing because it gave us the first ever pay-per-view, the Steel Ring Battle Royal.
I mean, listen, don't get me wrong. I'm grateful for what we do have, which isn't much, but I'm grateful for what we do have. But you talk about that first Steel Ring Battle Royal. That wasn't on pay-per-view, was it? That wasn't a part of Evil Blood?
No. That was a regular show. That was Clinton's birthday in 2003. That was a regular show. That was a planned. We had talked it over. We hadn't talked over who was going to win because back then we didn't know how to book at all.
Well,
okay?
You know, when you're a young teenager and all you care about is making noise, you don't really think about, how should I write this out? Blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean?
the art of booking, honestly, did not come until I met you.
You know
but we'll
what?
get to that.
You know what? I remember in the early days, Brad and I used to do pay-per-views too. But Brad and I,
really?
yep. But again, we never recorded any of it. But see, here's the thing that me and Brad did.
Huh?
And this is something that really irks me now, thinking back on it. We would put on these amazing events, like full cards.
Oh, wow.
And so say, for example, if we had the guys to do it, and we would do, like, for example, remember when Triple H and Kevin Nash were having those matches for the world title?
Yes, I do. I remember it very well. I love that rivalry.
Yeah, well, I remember me and Brad had those figures, and we booked Nash to win, okay? But see, here's the problem. If the guy that we picked to win the title did not actually win the title on TV, we would take it off that guy and put it back on the other guy.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
yeah. You see why that irked me? You see why that made me mad? You see why that made me mad?
Bad booking. Bad booking. Well, you know.
Look, I was
and again,
13 years old, man. I didn't.
Well, dude, you know, you were a young kid. You were, let's be realistic. You were green as damn grass.
Yeah, really.
in this sport. But hey, you know what? So are we.
But you know what, though? You know what, though? I will tell you one thing, though. A couple of things that Brad and I did very well. We were very innovative when it came to certain concepts. Like we made the Hell in a Cell Heavyweight Championship belt.
Oh, sweet.
It was a championship that obviously could only be defended in Hell in a Cell matches.
That makes sense.
We had a 4th of July championship, which was a belt that could only be defended once a year. Now, it's like I said, not all these concepts made sense, but then Hell in a Cell championship was actually pretty brilliant. We had a concept called the skyscraper match.
I've heard of that.
Yep. Is what we would do is we would erect these huge, like, boxes. We'd stack boxes on top of each other. And then when we'd get it to about as tall as we were, we would put the ring on top of that. And, of course, back then, it wasn't about technique or neatness. It was about crash. Send all the guys down to their deaths, right? That was what
It was
that
about
was about.
basically an 18-car pileup.
Exactly.
So, okay, so let me kind of add something in here. What it sounds like was some of your concepts, this is kind of ironic, some of your and Brad's were almost the same as some of mine. You
Yeah.
see, in the early days of VOW, or Takeout as it was called back then, there was no storytelling. There was no booking. What it was you had fucking 10 to 15 guys come out there and you get in a big ass fucking brawl. That was the whole show. That was it. You had 10, 15 guys come out there, get in a brawl, bring weapons out, beat the piss out of who's ever in front of you. That's it.
You know, the thing with me and Brad that made our thing so interesting, though, is Brad and I had matches sometimes that would last 2 to 3 hours
I believe it.
in one match.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So did I. Yeah, I understand exactly. So, when was your first pay-per-view? I'm curious now.
I can't quite remember when our first official pay-per-view was, but if I had to guess, if you made me guess, I would have to say it might have been SummerSlam 2002. Because the hype behind Brock Lesnar and The Rock at the time was just
Was fucking huge.
it was humongous, man.
Yeah.
Humongous.
Oh, yeah.
And
No,
I remember,
it.
that weekend we were doing Brad's birthday party
Uh-huh.
that weekend, and a bunch of his friends came down. And back then, I mean, me and Brad were just hardcore into wrestling. So Brad got a bunch of wrestlers on top of the 50 or 60,000 we already had. So we took all of our guys out to the tent, and this included Brad's new SmackDown ring set. This included my Titantron, all of our weapons, and my dad had this big, huge, 10-man tent.
Uh-huh.
Big, humongous tent. And we had big battle royals and championship matches all weekend long. It was a 3-day thing.
I have to ask you one very important question. And I think you probably know what it is. Why, oh, why did you not record it?
You know what? Here's the fucked up part. I had the damn miniature tape player out there, and I still have the damn cassette that was in that player to this day. And you know what it has on it? Not that.
Oh, you young, naive fool.
Oh, God, tell me about it, man.
So really, I have to correct my statement because you guys were the father of pay-per-view then. Okay.
In a manner of speaking, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's interesting. I did not know that. One of the best things about Evil Blood, though, to get back to that for a minute, Evil Blood was our first attempt at a fully booked, somewhat organized event.
I was watching the first Evil Blood a month ago.
Uh-huh.
And for being as young as you and Clinton were, I gotta say I was kind of impressed.
Yeah. Well, a lot of that credit kind of goes to, well, I'm just going to say it, me, because I watch wrestling. I watch it. Even to this day, I watch it a lot. Okay, but back then, I was watching it, but I was also, figuring out what we can do.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine what it would have been like back then if we'd had the means and the resources?
Oh God!
To get all of us
would have
together
been
back then,
spectacular. Oh God! It would have been huge.
Oh yeah.
I think. I'll be honest. I think Clinton back then might have felt out of place, but I think I would have been like, oh.
I've often wondered, and I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to keep drilling him until we get it. Because back then, I remember back in 2004 when Brad and I recorded, that's wishful thinking, when Brad and I performed our last shows together.
I was going to say, if you recorded it, I got one question. Where is it and why is it not up here?
Even when we performed our last shows, Brad was a hell of an announcer. He really was, man. He really was.
He was.
Oh, yeah, dude. I mean, when he got into it, he was, man, he was as good as I was.
Man. Oh, yeah. No, I bet.
And all these years later, 16 years later, I sit here and I think, man, what would it sound like? He might be a little rusty at first, but, you weren't the only one I talked to, man. I talked to you and Clinton and Katie and all those people, and they all said the same thing. They said, he'll catch on.
Yeah, I'm not even worried about him. I'm not worried about it at all, because you don't lose that.
No, man.
Now let's kind of skip forward a few years to the resurgent, the kind of beginning a record on you when you came in?
Well,
What made you decide to record that? Well, what really went through your mind with the want to start getting your shows recorded? Was it just an idea to have them, or what?
Well, it was like this. It was like you and I were having that phone conversation, and I was like, well, Johnny records his shows. Why shouldn't I? And I thought about it for a minute, and I thought about it, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to do it. But see, at first, I didn't quite have my niche down yet. You know what I mean? Because, at first it was a bit cartoony, it was a little goofy.
Sure.
A little silly.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
And so, kind of took me a minute to get going. But, man, I'll tell you what. I think, to tell you the truth, when we discovered Poison, that was gold. Like, we were...
Oh, I'm into that. Oh, God, yeah. Oh, yeah. When did you become... I'm curious about this one. When did you go from just one big brawl, or like the one big knock them all down matches to an actual booked, fully loaded card? Was that you and Brad, or was those days you and you alone? How'd that change?
No, see, me and Brad, we always did loaded cards. We never really did the knock 'em down brawl thing and called that a show. The only time we ever really did that was when we did the Rumble.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. Yeah,
and see, the only reason why the Rumble was more in the style of a knock 'em down brawl thing was because we had the old Royal Rumble Nintendo games, and the old Rumble Nintendo games were just that. They were, knock 'em dead, brawl type thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
It was never, there was not really any real strategy to it.
Sure.
It was just real simple. But back then it worked. You know what I mean? So, what do you do with something that works? You build on it.
Keep it going. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Keep it going. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. But, as years go by, you've got to change your style. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I remember, what was it? 06 through 08, you and I were almost carbon copies of each other.
Oh, my God, yeah. We were almost interchangeable. You damn near couldn't tell. I'm going to be honest. If it wasn't for the voices who was doing the announcing, you wouldn't be able to tell.
No, you really wouldn't. And, we always talk about how great the war in 08 was, and believe me, it was. Mm-hmm. But looking back on that product now, I'm going to tell you, there were big flaws in that plan. And I will sum it up for you in one word. Doubles.
Totally. Fucking totally. Because see, here's the damn problem. Here's the problem. You and I liked a lot of the same people. We were too greedy. We both had to have them. Mm-hmm. So what that institutionalized was doubles. Now, I got to take you back before the war for a minute, because I got to point something out on record here. Before May Mayhem 2008, I had always done, the big knockdown, drag out brawl, or with the exception of Evil Blood, buried them in Steel, or the Last Fury show of 2006. Those three shows were loaded cards. Everything else was knockdown, drag out, fucking backyard brawl. So basically, when May Mayhem got around to us in 2008, my nerves were on edge. I was so nervous I was gonna fuck it up, because here's a guy who, who had been doing shows since 2006. Not only doing shows, but you had structure, you had a story behind it, right?
Yeah.
Then you come with a guy who had just come, quite frankly, out of babysitting some other guy, and then you had a guy who also had his own style, which is a mayhem backyard brawl. So basically, you had structure versus the backyard brawl. And frankly, I am very surprised at how well we mixed, because I didn't think that we were going to. I thought we were going to hit it and we were going to fuck it up.
Well, I'll tell you one thing right now. It really did not mix well at first. No, it didn't. Well, and I'll tell you why. A lot of those early matches we did. See, Mayhem 08 was kind of the trial run to kind of see how it worked out. You know how you got to test water. A lot of that event is hard to watch, not because it was cringeworthy. It was a good event, but it's hard to watch because almost every match on that card, there was so much happening from two different angles. There was no flow or structure to it.
Oh, no.
I was over here trying to get my shit in. You were over here trying to get your shit in.
Yeah.
And it was just really, really hard to watch.
Yeah. Because you had two people, and I think you'll probably agree, you had two people that were used to being on top.
Well, you had two people that were used to being on their own and doing their own thing independently of the other. And when you tried to mix that in together, it flopped.
Big time. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. But I think by the time we got around to Evil Blood 08, I think we kind of started to fix that a little bit.
It was a little, there was a little bit more of, okay, I'll do one, now you'll do one,
exactly.
And I'll step back.
Well, I'll give you an example. Now, Evil Blood 08 wasn't perfect by any stretch. It was not perfect, but we were getting there. We were starting to kind of figure out, okay. And then I think, this is my opinion, I think by the time we got to No One Lives, the end of the war, I think we had figured it out. Hey, split this up. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Split it up.
I had a problem that I needed to figure out too, and it took me a couple of years to figure it out. You don't need to run the show. See, my problem is I was so used to running everything, because I had to with Clinton, that I had this desire to just take over the whole damn show. Mayhem was living fucking proof of that.
And I'm going to fast forward now to what we have today. We look back at all those memories back then, and then we fast forward to today and how structured and smooth and easy it all is.
It's not even the same product. It really isn't, because things are much more structured now, much more easier flowing. Now it flows like wine.
Oh, it does.
It really does. There's a flow to it now. People understand that, hey, take a step back. Let the other guy do his match. Yes, you can call it, but you don't have to be a part of it. Exactly. You don't have to do it.
Exactly.
So, there's a thing where, now we can step back and we can watch the matches from the commentary booth, not necessarily having to be there, as in doing the action. Like, I'll give you a prime example of something that really flowed to me. Borgen and Bryan versus the War Raiders. Highway to Hell, 2019.
Oh, yeah. I mean, dude.
That entire event flowed.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, my favorite matches on that card was that tag team match and the two main events. Martin,
I agree.
Martin and Blanca, and Machine and Venom.
Oh God, yeah, I agree. One thing I am very, very proud of is Evil Blood. Evil Blood is very near and dear to me because of, well, one, it was my event, but that isn't even the biggest reason why it's so near and dear to me. Evil Blood is the culmination of everybody's hard work. Evil Blood is the combination of everybody's efforts, everything that everybody does to put into this event. The thing that I do, the things that you and me do on the wrestling angle, the things that you do with going out and getting the musicians to, do what they do best. It's everybody's hard work that pays off in August, and there's no greater feeling to me, I'm going to go on record right now, of seeing every single year Evil Blood continue to top itself. You have no idea how good that fucking feels to me.
It is so beautiful. I was at Kamikazes at the end of last year, maybe it was the beginning of this year, and I was with Justin and Nate, and A Lost Asylum, the Heavy Buckets and all them guys.
Yeah.
And we're sitting at the table drinking beer, and Justin and I got on the subject of Evil Blood, and he said the coolest thing to me, he said, was it's everybody's work all rolled up into one big ball, and you get to see it on full display.
Exactly.
God, man, you talk about a sense of accomplishment, a sense of triumph. That is what Evil Blood is to us. Evil Blood is the biggest event in what we do, and it did not start out that way. Wasn't supposed to be that way. But it grew naturally into that.
Evil Blood became a phenomenon.
Yeah. And now you want to make it there. If you're a guy on a roster, on a WWE roster, on an EOW roster, even a guy in a different organization, you want to be on that stage.
Oh yeah.
You want to be there.
Yeah, because you'll never get a place bigger. It just ain't gonna happen. You will never, honest to fuck, you will never get a place bigger.
No.
Than Evil Blood. It will not happen because Evil Blood is a showdown among showdowns. It is the showcase of the immortals. Whatever you want to call it, any grandeur that you want to put on it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And
it is the end all be all.
It is. It really is. And the cool thing too is it grew from a wrestling standpoint, from a product standpoint, from a technical standpoint. Going digital and bringing Evil Blood with us and watching it grow. The first Evil Blood was just you and Clinton kind of barely starting to figure things out.
Yeah.
The next two were you and me in the middle of our war and our stupid feud and all that crazy crap.
Yeah.
And then when we went digital, the next two Evil Bloods, then it started to, wait a minute, it's starting to get big, 2013 was like, whoa, Evil Blood, man. And then 2018 comes along.
Well, dude, I mean, Evil Blood 2012 to me is when it started to get big. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Evil Blood 2010. I do. I will. That has always got a special place in my heart. But to me, Evil Blood 2012 was fucking redemption. You know what I'm saying? Redemption for the whole fucking enchilada. And from there, it went bigger because in 2013, you had, Evil Blood 2013 was the first ever 4-person announcers booth at Evil Blood. That had never happened before.
No.
It never happened before. It happened then.
No. And the thing I loved about that was the storytelling was just so amazing.
Oh my God, yeah. Oh
And,
yeah.
You know, and it was right in the middle of this huge storyline we were doing, which was probably one of the best things to ever come out of this event.
I agree.
The Mr. Nation versus Mr. Schofield rivalry. Like
Mm-hmm.
the true rivalry that I wish we would have had back in 08 in the original days
Oh
of the
God,
war.
yeah. Oh my God.
But, dude, I'm going to tell you right now, we were nowhere near smart enough nor talented enough to book it back then.
And we were too fucking greedy. In my opinion, we were too fucking greedy.
You know, by the time 2013 come around, we were experienced, seasoned, recording wrestling veterans.
Exactly. Now, to me, see, we tried that back in 2008. I don't know if you remember or not, but I do. We had tried that in 2008, where I had taken over your company. Remember that? How I had, you know, how my character had, you know, supposedly fallen in love with Kim and some nonsense. You know, it was.
Yeah. I remember you had come out at the start of Evil Blood 08, and it was this big reveal.
Right.
You know, and you know, it was like a terroristic takeover of WOW, but
Right.
it wasn't believable.
To me, it was cheesy.
It was cheesy.
Almost.
It was goofy.
It was cartoonish to me almost. It was like something you see off of like some kids' TV show.
But see, by the time 2013 come
Or
around, there was history between us. There was real life animosity between us.
God. By the time 2013 came around, and I cut that promo, which I have to tell you, Casey, some of that promo, some of that shit was real.
And then the best
I'll
things
tell you
about
why.
wrestling is when you take certain pieces of realism and you blend it in with the story, man.
And you blended it, because you had sat there. I don't know if you did it intentionally or not, but you sat there and you cut me down, from 2008 to 2012. I don't know if you did it intentionally. I don't know if you did it to light a fucking fire under me. Oh my God, but you did it.
Probably.
And when I got your company,
Probably a combination of the two.
Oh yeah, no. But when I got your fucking company, oh my God, I didn't just relish in that as a character. Oh no. Me, John Nation, the human being, just gloated. Because the big bad bully had been fucking bitch beat. It was great.
And my
But
God.
we took it and made one of the best stories out of it we ever fucking could.
Oh, dude, and Evil Blood 2013, that 5-on-5 elimination where Schofield was on the bottom, fighting his way back up, trying to overcome these insurmountable odds, you know, and you see my guys just fall one by one, you know, and you had the evil John Nation over there in one corner, you had me in the other corner, you know, I'm desperate, you're vengeful, you know, it was so perfect. It was so perfect.
And what I love, and this is actually your idea, and I so seriously, you know, applaud you for this way of thinking, is WWE gets so close, and then what happens? Not somebody from the EOW roster. Oh no. No.
My own
Machine.
champion.
Yeah, Machine comes out there and cost the whole fucking thing.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. And dude,
it was great, dude. Oh man,
how that story ended in December was magical.
Oh, that was phenomenal.
Magical. You know, and you know what? I'm just going to say it. It's my belief. You know how you always said that 07, 08 were the hottest years in WOW? Mm-hmm. I believe 2011 through 2013 were EOW's hottest years because, dude, look at that.
Oh, God.
During that time, you had Demon and Executioner come in. Mr. Nation was on the rise. You were having matches that were 5-star classics.
And if you look at my shows in like 2012, you saw hints of Mr. Nation during the war with Aaron Reed.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because that got a little sick, I'll admit. But you know what? Hey, he knocked on the wrong man's door, all right?
Man, okay, so let's fast forward. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You have 2.5 years go by at this point. We're in, what, January of 2018 now? You and I are talking on the phone one night, and you just flat out tell me, Casey, come back. It's time to come back. Take us through that, man.
Okay, yeah, easy. I had been doing great shows, great EOW. Clawman was the man on top. You know, he wasn't the champion, but he was the man on top. He was the man that was coming in, having all these fights with these young guys. You know, let's get some folks over, which, by damn it, is exactly what he did. All right? He came, he got people over, it was beautiful. But there was something missing. I was starting to lose my fire because it got lonely up at the top of the mountain. You know what I mean?
Yeah, oh yeah.
When you cut out all the greed and all the nonsense from 2008 and 2009, there's nothing better than having two wrestling companies thriving, because there's nothing better than competition in my eyes. Nothing. There's nothing that beats it.
No, oh no way.
Because competition is either going to do two things: going to light a fire under your ass, or it's going to bury you. Those are your choices. You don't get a third. And I asked you point blank to come back because after 2017, I did that one show where you know, Clawman cost Machine, right?
Yeah.
Back in August. That was the last show I did until St. Patrick's Day of 2018. I don't know how many months that is off, but it's a lot. So for for all those months, there was no Object Wrestling going on because I had started to lose my fire. I needed something to reawaken in me. Then when I got this place and realized how perfect this was, you and me had talked. And he said, well, why don't I come up there and we'll do a show? You know, I made a legit purchase of your guys, you know. And so we had decided, okay, why don't you come up here and we'll do a show. St. Patrick's Day weekend rolls around, you come up, and as they say on TV, my friend, the rest is history.
Oh man, you know, and it turned out to be one of the greatest comebacks, if not the greatest comeback in the history of the sport, because it's still ongoing. I I think I'm going to go on record right now and change a historical piece you've always said. You say that 07 and 08 were WWE's best years. I'm going to change that. Mm-hmm. I think 2018 through present is probably WWE's best run so far.
I think present is both of our best runs so far.
I completely agree with you, because on both sides of the coin, we've never had better matches, better technology, better storytelling, a better roster of guys on both sides of the fence. Mm-hmm. It's absolutely amazing. We have outside sources. We have people from podcasts and musicians coming in. We got pro wrestlers that want to hear this shit. Our shit is on YouTube. It's all over YouTube, all over the place. We got podcasts dedicated to it, legit documentaries out there. I mean, man, does it get any better than that?
No. I mean, I know that I said 2008, 2007 was your best years. No, I think this was because we have accomplished more now than we ever did back then.
Oh yeah, because we have the means to do so now. You know what I mean? We do. We have the means to do so, and it is absolutely amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Our story, from starting at the bottom, coming all the way to the top, and staying there is just, it's something to talk about, man. We could talk about it all damn day.
Oh, it is. I mean, the ups, downs, good times, bad. There have been a lot of them. There have been a lot of, and this business had given me some of the greatest memories I think I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I've had more fun doing these past couple of years than I have in a long time, because I don't know what you've got in mind. I don't think you know half what I've got in mind. Even though we're doing it from the same place, we don't know everything that everybody's gonna fucking do.
And that is the best part of the whole thing. The greatest part in professional wrestling is the unpredictability, shock value.
And I think also, to me, I think to me this is the best run because we're working together finally. It's not it is a competition still, but we're working with each other now. It's not we're working against each other. We're not actually out to beat it. We're not actually out to beat the other guy. No.
Exactly.
No. It's a working process. We work together to make the best shows possible. This, in my opinion, is what we should have been doing all along.
Exactly. Because in the beginning, it was me and Brad and you and Clinton. The competition was fierce. The rivalries were real.
Yeah, they were. And sometimes that's not always a good thing.
But at the end of the day, it's you and me still here, still doing it. We've brought in musicians. Our match quality's never been better. We've seen other promotions come up through the ranks, and fuck, man, it's a beautiful thing, my friend. It's a beautiful thing.
Oh God, yeah, it is.
And I'm going to close out by saying this, and I know you're going to agree with me. Through hell or high water, earthquake, viruses be damned, we're going to do this as long as we are able. I don't care.
This goes out to all the people on anywhere on this earth that happens to hear this. If you're a fan of what we do, y'all ain't seen nothing yet.
Damn right. Johnny and I have 2 decades of this shit. And my friend, we're just getting started. We are just getting started.
Yeah, our night is still young,
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
way young.
Yes, sir. Well, my friend, it's been great having you on this podcast, brother. I think we're going to cut it off here, but I'll tell
All
you,
right,
man.
sounds good.
But I'll tell you, man, what a ride it has been and what a ride it is going to continue to be.
Hey, I tell you what we'll do. How about we do another one after? How about we do another one of these after Evil Blood, huh?
Exactly.
Because you know we're gonna want to be talking about that, all right?
Oh, yeah. You know it, pal. You know it. All right, boys. We'll see you next time.
Yep.